Okay, this lecture is on creating a dot plot for quantitative data. The data set we're going to use is also in the sample data library. It's a data set about the elasticity of billiard balls made under different conditions. You can read the description of this data set, but quite honestly, the only variable we're interested in at the moment is the quantitative variable elastic in the data set. And so it says elasticity was measured on a scale from 0 to 100, with the higher number representing greater elasticity. Okay, so we're going to open up the data set and we're going to work on dot plots. So once again, I have the dialog boxes there for you, and we'll get ready here. So I'm going to come in, File, open a worksheet in the sample library. I'm going to start typing it and opening it up. Okay, so this is the data that we're interested in. So I'm going to come up to Graph, come down to dot plot, and I get the first dialog box. Right now we're only dealing with one variable, so it's very simple. Okay, we're going to pick elastic. So all you have to do is pick the variable of interest. Now it says graph variables. I want to remind you that this should be quantitative data. These buttons really I don't play with. I play with them when I get to multiple graphs, but when I have a single variable, there's not really a whole lot of use for these buttons. So that's why I don't show them to you in the picture. So I'm going to just say OK. And notice that Minitab doesn't use the best use of space, but it does create a dot plot. So let me give it a better title. This is the elasticity of billiard balls. And I might tell it that it's n equal 30. Okay, so that they know. And once again, how did I know it was 30? I could come down to the end of my data set and I see I have 30 observations. Okay. And I am just going to make this elasticity 0 to 100, with 100 most desirable. Okay. Now, what a dot plot does is it creates each individual value on a number line. Each dot represents one observation. Okay? So while this axis isn't labeled, it is really frequency. There's no way to put the dot plot into a percent picture. But that's okay, because we saw that percent and frequency really just is a rescaling. Okay? So this is our graph. I will tell you that as the number of data values increases, Minitab starts to treat the dot plot very similar to the histogram in that it creates bins. And so it begins to look a lot more like a histogram than really like a dot plot. So I'm going to just send this over to my Word document here. Rescale it if I'd like. Just make sure that when you rescale it I can see it. And then we're good.